I might have guessed you'd meet me here. There are only two sides to your coin.
Apparently so. But suppose you throw a coin enough times. Suppose one day it lands on its edge.
While still being in a massive shock that the Soul Reaver 1-2 Remastered is actually happening and the publisher has not forgotten about this game series, I thought it would be interesting to talk about something a bit more sad, yet intriguing regarding the series. In this video we are remembering of the cancelled sequels of the series that would have been released since Legacy of Kain Defiance. Dark Prophecy was the first cancelled Legacy of Kain game, developed by Ritual Entertainment with the assistance from Crystal Dynamics in 2004. It was conceived as the sixth game in the series and as the direct sequel to Legacy of Kain Defiance. The game reprised Kain again as its playable protagonist and would explore the mythology of the Hilden and the Demon Realm in greater depth. You know, the creepy green-eyed demon guys behind all the bad things going around in Nosgoth. Targeted platforms included PlayStation 2, Xbox and Microsoft Windows. Little is known regarding the events the game would have followed through, although concept art suggests that, similar to Legacy of Kain Defiance, it may have involved parallel stories with the player switching between two incarnations of Kain in the fourth timeline. For once, his younger, post-Blue Domain 2 self, and for second, his elder, post-Defiance embodiment. A multitude of concept images were uncovered around 2010, depict various demons and male and female Hilden. The Hilden are markedly different from their portrayal in Blue Domain 2, most of them resembling their race's fairier forms. Some of the concepts have significant names. There are images named Hilden Warlords, Hilden King, Hilden Boss, and Demon Boss. In a response to fan inquiries in 2012, some of the details of that were being considered for the title were revealed, commenting that the original idea was that the story dealt more with Kain going to the Hilden realm and kicking the ever-living crap out of them. On the subject of playable characters, it was confirmed that they were deciding whether the post-Blue Domain 2 Kain would be playable or part of another dual protagonist story with the elder Kain in the Demon realm assisting his unknowing younger self in the material realm. It was also explained that the devs had proposed a way to summon Raziel from the Reaver, but that was a proposal shut down by the Crystal Dynamics delegation. The basic news was they thought that Soul Reaver was Raziel's story and it ended with Defiance. After that it was all Kain. Which honestly would have been so freaking cool to summon Raziel, but on the other hand I can understand respecting the character and its arc and not reducing him to be a special move simply. One of the artists revealed that a script for the story had not been fully written at the time he created his artwork, so the story was never fully realized. The publisher Eidos Interactive never officially announced Dark Prophecy and ended its development at an early stage between 3 to 6 months. Several Ritual Entertainment artists later posted media from the project on their online portfolios. With the project's cancellation, the series remained on hold until Square Enix attempted to produce a new game at the turn of the decade called Legacy of Kain: Dead Sun. Legacy of Kain: Dead Sun, also known by its initial title Legacy of Kain: Savage Messiah or by its codename Black Cloth, is the latest cancelled Legacy of Kain game. Dead Sun was developed by Climax Studios from 2010 to 2012, with some supervision from the series' original publisher and developer Crystal Dynamics. Described as a in-continuity reboot, the game was to star Kain and Ashir, a new vampire protagonist duo, and would introduce a new era in Nosgoth's distant future. The target format for the game changed repeatedly during development. In its final form it was envisioned as a PlayStation 4 launch title. The action-adventure project was not revealed to the public and was secretly cancelled in 2012 by Square Enix Europe despite a significant amount of completed work. In 2013, after the announcement of the multiplayer game Nosgoth, a Legacy of Kain community member publicized a wealth of information and media from the scrap game, sourced from contacts in Climax Studios. His investigation alleged that Nosgoth had originated as Dead Sun's multiplayer mode and would reuse some of the single-player game's assets. A large amount of work went into the game with tremendous amounts of hours contributed by the artists. Development had progressed to the point in which some voice acting motion capture had taken place. Square Enix eventually projected that the game wouldn't reach their sales expectations and they decided to cancel it in 2012. A leak delivered the following specific points of information regarding the planned story. It's a distant continuation of the series, in the same way that Doctor Who and Star Trek The Next Generation took place in the same universe but were not immediate continuations of previous events. Legacy of Kain Dead Sun is set in Nosgoth's far future, long after the events of Soul Reaver. There is a race of blue-skinned vampires living in this era, known as the Saradin. The vampires have evolved beyond those seen in the series previously, and have the ability to shift between spectral and material realms at will and to consume souls. The vampires are devotedly religious. One of our main protagonists, Kain, is one of these Saradin vampires, and he attacks a human of Nosgoth called Ashir. Kain kills Ashir and begins to feed on his soul. But something happens here that causes Ashir's human soul to accidentally become bound in Kain's body. Kain becomes a unique creature, a human soul in control of and trapped in a vampire body. Ashir, who is the human trapped in the vampire body, begins to realize that Kain, the original vampire soul of the body, is still present. Kain appears to Ashir in visions, providing a vampiric perspective and alternate insight into the game's events. Kain and Ashir then attempts to run to his human village, but during his absence the settlement has been attacked and torched. Then after all, main hero explores Nosgoth with his new abilities. His quest for revenge against the destroyers of his village and those responsible for his circumstances becomes a quest that will decide the fate of the world as per Legacy of Kain tradition. The story would have explored the mystery surrounding a very old vampire child and would have revolved around the Elder God. Also, religion was one of the game's overarching themes. Dead Sun was an open-world action-adventure with exploration and upgradable abilities comparable to Soul Reaver. Our protagonist would be available to do real-time shifting between spectral and material realms just like Raziel. This shifting was fundamental to the gameplay and apparently very fluid. The role of the spectral realm was massive in the game. The combat supposed to be very cinematic and violent. The bosses were huge and involving action and puzzles, often fought across multiple stages. The gameplay structure was influenced by Soul Reaver and Zelda, would have been puzzle and dungeon heavy and extremely story focused with gameplay links to previous titles. Legacy of Kain's Dead Sun's vision presented a futuristic era, far removed from the corrupt wasteland scene in Legacy of Kain's Soul Reaver, with prolific vegetation and healthy ecology, active humans, and newly introduced races. With this, it may have been implied in terms of the post-Legacy of Kain Defiance fate of Kain's Empire, the Soul Reaver era vampires, and the vampire hunters of the human citadel, and also the pillars of Nosgoth themselves. All of their fates remained undisclosed. So that was the video. A huge thanks to legacyofkainfandom.com, because don't even think I'm this clever or anything that I know all this about the series. I just learned to read simply, but all the credit goes to them for beautifully compiling the information that has been leaking for years and years. I was Gabe, and I catch you in the next one. Until then, keep gaming.
The dreaded Kain, a taint on his black heart. His vengeful wraith, cloaked in death's embrace, he joined with Kain to curse the vampire race.